Good morning. Suprabhat. My slot actually was scheduled at around 11:18, I was told. And I deliberately chose the word Bharat here. Everybody would have definitely seen the front page of our constitution which says India, that is Bharat. And I reckon, though from a constitution perspective, it was India and Bharat one, but I reckon there are two different Indias in here. One is India for sure, India, and then there's Bharat also. So allow me to just tell you, it's not, so first of all, this is no gyan, okay? So it's not, I'm not going to teach you anything or guide you on anything. I'm just sharing some couple of thoughts which I have from my experience in last 22 years in corporate line. I worked with different brands and so on and so forth. India is a country, diverse country, highly diverse. 70% of the population lives in rural. Before joining D.light, I thought I am a champion in rural. But when I actually went into the market, I really realized I am nowhere around. I don't know this country very well. At all, rather. Not very well is the wrong word. 22 scheduled languages, 200 total languages, 1600 dialects. 70% of the population lives in rural. You know what? I always tell marketers, and I think you will definitely agree with me, India is an onion. That's an analogy I normally use for India. For all marketers. What does onion do? The ladies are sitting here who understand onion better than men. You peel one layer, there's another layer. You peel another layer, there's another layer. And so on and so forth. And while you peel layers, what happens? Guess what? Tears, right? And then, when the onion is completely peeled, you have had your share of tears, you put it in vegetables, it tastes what? Nice. Get it? That's what exactly India is. That's what exactly Bharat is. That it's an onion, you have to peel so many layers, you really have to work hard to actually understand this country. You have tears, you have your share of joys, learning and frustrations. And once you've had that, you put that onion in the vegetable or whatever you are delivering, as a matter of fact, whatever service or the product you are delivering, and hence the vegetable is going to taste good for you. So that's what India is all about. So when we talk of sustainable development, a lot can be spoken about it. 18 minutes is too less a time to really talk about it. But then I'll try my best to share a couple of thoughts of mine. Three elements of sustainable development are there. One is society, economy, and infrastructure, Environment. Yeah, where is that? Environment. These three things actually form the sustainable development. Mera Bharat kahan? Where is my India? Let's do some reality check. I'll just tell you cost of living for poor. And I'm not right now taking any gaon of UP or Bihar or Jharkhand or Odisha. I'm just comparing two colonies of Bombay. Erstwhile Bombay, now Mumbai. Dhara and Warden Road. What is the credit annual interest? Dhara is 600% to 800% and Warden Road is 12 to 18%. The poverty premium is 53x. And this is statistics from the inventor of the BOP, bottom of pyramid, C.K. Prahlad and Dr. Al-Hammond. Municipal grade water, $1.12 and $0.03, 37x. We can go through figures. The point is to actually, understand how much poor are going to pay. How much are they paying through their nose? One, they are earning less, and two, they are paying more. Mera Bharat kahan? Where is our India? And what do we see India as? This is what we see. We see only the sunny side up. We only see this aspect. A swift India. Fast-growing India. We all are mall maniacs. I go to mall every Sunday, Saturday. Every Saturday, Sunday. I love it. Fantastic. My kids love it. Pizza Huts, KFCs, McDonald's, and so on and so forth. Fastest growing economies of this world. We have metro, we've got tall buildings, we are sitting in this nice auditorium. We are a young country, 550 million youth. 50% of the population is less than the age of 25. A young country, fantastic. Very strong self-consumption and very fast-growing middle class. And that's what all organizations are looking at. Every multinational, I always call one thing, that every multinational has got one very typical problem. I call it an Excel sheet syndrome. They see India only from an Excel sheet. They see this statistics and they say, wow, amazing, let's go there, guys. Let's invest our time, money, energy and get the best out of it. People talk about bottom-up pyramid and they say, let's lift bottom-up pyramid. Let me tell you guys here, you cannot lift bottom-up pyramid. You have to lift yourself to serve bottom-up pyramid. Nobody can lift bottom-up pyramid. You have to serve bottom-up pyramid. So, we are conditioned to look at the sunny side only. We are only conditioned to look this part of it. Because we think and operate in evolved markets. How many people have, out of you have lived in rural areas? Please raise hands. Actually lived their life. Handful, right? So we don't know. Let's see. Mera Bharat. Let's see the reality. And this is the reality. Dark side. What's the dark side? And I'm listing a couple of things. There are infrastructure issues, there are governance issues which Anna Hazare and all others are taking care of for sure. You know, let me just tell you a few issues here. Illness, 15%, less than 15% population has got health coverage. Darkness, 125,000 villages are dark. 468 million people don't have light in this country. What kind of sustainability we are talking about? We had a power outage for 2 days in this country, in this city also. There was hue and cry, right? What did we say? It's terrible. This was the word we used. We used all kind of adjectives. Imagine the guys don't have light, they don't get light, they don't see light. They use kerosene. 29,000 crore is a subsidy on kerosene, which we are spending in this country. What are we up to? Poverty and hunger, 42% population living below international poverty line, earning less than $1.25 per day. So that's the actual Bharat. And it's not something, I don't say every problem actually brings an opportunity also. Let's understand that also. So it's not something which is, we need not get sad about it, but we need to be get enlightened and start thinking about it. And I think the youth can really change the course of this country. Now, what do we need to, how do we build in the sustainability? You rightly said so. Resonate with the consumers. How do we resonate today? Today politicians go to the villages and do what? Ask for votes and never visit that village later on. Marketeers do what? They go and just sell the products there. Our dealing is nothing but transactional business. You cannot have sustainability till the time you resonate with your people and people who are living in the areas where you never visited also. Engage. Today the time is to stay engaged with them. Understand their problems. We started a very unique concept called empathy trip. That every employee of the company, starting from PM to the managing director, will have to spend at least 2 days in a village with the villager in his hut, eating his food. And then only you get built products for them. Then only you will understand them. Then only you can say this product is for you. And we conducted a very, very interesting consumer resonance study before we built our products. And it took us a year and a half to actually do all that stuff. And hence, resonance with the consumer, resonance with the people are there. So I'm not talking from a marketing point of view, I'm talking in general, whether it's a politician or a marketeer or any development agency per se. We got to resonate with them. We got to understand their feelings, understand their real problems. Allow me to give you a very interesting example. So one of the guys actually told me, I was standing in his house and he was folding I saw his hands were folded for half an hour. And half an hour I was there in his house. So, and he was a villager having a genset at home and he was the owner of my lantern. So I asked him, I said, sir, and first of all he told me, sir, आज मैं जिंदा हूँ तो आपके कारण जिंदा हूँ. This was his wording. Today I'm alive because of you. So I was very surprised that you have a genset at home and you have just 1,600 rupees worth of light of mine with you. I mean, how can you really, make us feel so great about it? He says, your light is a game changer in my life. The game changer is, the light is a light. It helps us to cook, it helps us to do whatever we do at home. My younger son never used to visit school. Now he started studying with that light and he started visiting school. My daughter goes to the college. The light also does the mobile charging. And now she can stay connected with us given the security situation in this country. But then I said, all right, all this can be done through a generator set. He said, you know what? This generator set I cannot carry it in my fields when I water plants or water my fields. And the other day I carried your light and I could spot a cobra standing 50 meters away. The cobra could have bitten me if the light would not have been there. Imagine I'm today alive because of you. See how deeply they feel about such small things. For us it's a small thing, right? It's just one light. But for him, it's a game changer. It changes his psychology, his thought process. So, engagement is important. Second is empathize. Do not pity them, okay? One basic problem when we start pitying them. You should not pity them. They also have aspirations. We need to enhance their aspiration levels. This was a part of our resonance study again. Empathize with them. Say, all right, we understand your problem. Don't worry. Do not buy. Hold it, touch it, feel it, try it, and then we'll talk about it. So, third is instill trust. I started a very unique concept called the Shah Rukh Khan philosophy in my company. What does Shah Rukh Khan say? Main hoon na. So today the problem is that they don't trust us. Because everybody goes there. I'm talking in case again of solar lanterns. Cheap Chinese products have inundated the market. The product comes up after 2 months. And then they say, hey, you know what? They don't say the product was bad. They will say the solar technology is bad. It's terrible. एक तो महंगा है and second खराब है. So there's no trust. So we thought we will build a rural entrepreneur network. The people who will promote our lanterns or our products will be the people who are the local people. And the local person, if he goes to his neighborhood or his friends or his people known to him, and they say, all right, if something goes wrong with the product, what will you do? He said, don't worry, main hoon na. So he becomes my de facto Shah Rukh Khan. So that's what I call it a Shah Rukh Khan philosophy. Every single politician of this country, every single social activist, every single organization actually has to turn into a Shah Rukh Khan to actually think of sustainable development. And then you have to address the aspirations. That's very important. And next aspect is innovation. India is a land of innovation. We invented zero, right? Which is controlling this entire world as a matter of fact. But today, sorry to say, most of the innovations are at the top of the pyramid, top, TOP, and not at the BOP. So we got to innovate. We've got to start thinking, how do we reach out to these people? How do we need to innovate our thinking first of all. We need to change the way we look at deprived society. Empathy, trust, engagement. Think about their challenges, and then we can develop, and then we can build sustainable development. You know what? Sustainable development is not giving 200,000 rupees to them, all right, we'll build a road for you. That's not a sustainability. That's not sustainable, it's one time. There's one rain and the road, there are potholes in the rain. What do you do afterwards? It's not about just giving them a solar lantern. It's about ensuring that it works, ensuring that it is serviced, ensuring that it, they get value, they see a value in whatever they have bought or they are going to buy. That's sustainable. CSR activities are happening. Many CSR activities are not sustainable. They're just giveaways. And you know what? Guess what? How many of you go to big bazaars on every Wednesday or Sundays? You go to big bazaars? Raise hands. Big bazaar, right? There are a number of freebies there, right? Tell me how many times you value those freebies? You don't value them because they come to you free. ये तो इन्होंने फेंकना था, ये तो खराब हो रहा था, इन्होंने साथ में लगा दिया। ये बोलते हैं ना, सच बताओ, आप मुझे बताओ, मैं तो यही सोचता हूँ कि घटिया सा भद्दा सा ब्रांड है, साथ में टैग कर दिया, तो बोला ये फ्री है, right? So whenever you give anything for free, it's not a value. The question is, how do you instill value? So innovate our offering and cost of acquisition. You design for masses, affordable. Now there is a company called Simpa Network in India who is delivering the solar modules on pay-as-you-go basis. You spend 10 rupees per day on kerosene, or you pay 10 rupees per day on solar energy. Excellent, right? It's a fantastic model. Now that's what you need to do. You got to innovate the model. You cannot sell your solar lanterns through kirana outlets. I did a study that to sell a solar lantern, the sales pitch require 11 to 35 minutes. Can you imagine a kirana outlet can spend 11 to 35 minutes to sell a lantern? He will not do that. वो कहता है मेरे साबुन के 5 ग्राम बढ़ जाएंगे, मैं आपका माल नहीं बेचूंगा. Rightfully so. He's right. He's a businessman. So we have to actually look at a very disruptive, unconventional distribution solution to sell our products. So what I mean to say is we got to innovate in our offering. Innovate the process to reach out. This is what exactly I just told you. Innovate your approach. Now the approach is we do, all right, सड़क बना देते हैं. That's not sustainable development. इनको solar lighting दे देते हैं. That's not sustainable. You have to bring everything together, and that's called integrated approach. You have to give them integrated solutions, not piecemeal solutions. That's what is missing in today's development efforts. And then innovate CSR. I just told you, CSR is not about just giving it away. It's about sustainability. Let's talk about few stuff which is happening in this country for good, for sustainability. And I'll list 5 such elements which actually can really address the sustainability issue in this country. 1, financial inclusion. Imagine India is the world's second economy which is financially excluded. There are 800 million people, I hope my statistics are right, who don't have banking facility also. They don't have access to loans. They don't have access to cheap capital. And there's a lot happening there. So very recently RBI opened up a unique concept in a public-private partnership. It's called a banking correspondent model. And the banking correspondents are offering domestic money transfer. So a guy from Balia comes to Delhi to work and he has to send a maintenance money back home. Earlier he used to resort to all this money order concept and then bribing the postman and so on and so forth. Now nothing of this stuff. You just go to one so-called branch of ECO or GeoSansar or whatever, and then your money reaches to your hometown. That's it. Or village, sorry, not even town. Then there's an banking facilities that have come up. Then there are Kisan credit cards. There's a microfinance. I understand there were challenges in the microfinance in the last couple of years, but then it's evolving, So till the time we financially include people, there has to be financial inclusion. We include masses, and I told you masses who are living in villages, 70% people. We cannot get the sustainable development in this country. So financial inclusion is one. Then is education. We all understand how many dropouts are there. The girls are not allowed to go to schools in villages, and so on and so forth. And there's not much happening over there. Pratham is India's leading education NGO. There's a company called Educate Girls, which is only focusing on girl education. They have enrolled around 18,000 girls in their network. Imagine, it's spectacular. There are night schools which are happening for adult education, and so on and so forth. You know? And then of course there are government schemes like Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. Now let's talk about the Right to Education Act. We have RTE, right? What does RTE say? RTE is about providing free books, tuition fee waived off, midday meals, and so on and so forth. But RTE goes into the dustbin at 3 p.m. It doesn't have any relevance after 3 p.m. Reason? 3 p.m. the schools are off, kids head back home, and then they play or whatever they do, they eat, and then in the evening they have to do their homework, they have to do their classwork, they do the examination preparations and so forth, and they don't have light. So either they don't study, or they study with the noxious fumes of kerosene lantern. Isn't it terrible? What kind of RTE we are talking about? So if they have a right to education, they also should get a right to safe life for education. So this is where we started a concept called Project Life. Life would mean life for education. And there are many such projects which are coming now. How do we light up the education sector? There are close to around, if I'm not wrong, 120 million students who don't have access to power while they study. So the RTE. So this is what exactly I said when I spoke about integrated approach. So we have an RTE. Nobody thought that 3 bache ke baad RTE ko kya hoga? Nobody thought about it. It will go to dustbin. So this is what I think all the institutions need to come together to address. The third is energy. Third very critical element in sustainable development is energy. 468 million people, 70 million households, 125,000 villages in India are off grid. They don't have power. They are in dark. They use kerosene, they use all sort of other ways to light up their homes. And then around 200 more million people have power grid but they don't get power. Ghaziabad has got 8 hours power cut. What are we talking? Where are we? So, but there's a lot happening in the power sector. Companies like Celto, companies like Orb Energy, companies like Simpanet, a company like d.light, they're doing so much around solar energy now. And in different ways. It's in lanterns or solar home systems, but it's not enough. I would like to add something to your knowledge. IFC report says that India sells close to 100,000 solar home systems per annum. And now the flip side is, Bangladesh sells 80,000 solar home systems per month. See the difference. Bangladesh is equivalent to West Bengal state of ours. They sell 18,000 systems per month. What's the difference? The difference is in the approach. The approach is that the government has done some subsidy, which is lesser, but they have given an access to affordable finance. And they get solar home systems at just 6% rate of interest for 3 years. So that's what I call it an integrated approach to business. It's not about National Solar Mission or Rajiv Gandhi Vidyut Karan Yojana. It's about it's about having everything, in that ambit, which is perhaps missing. Then there are companies like Huskpar, using rice husk to produce power. What an innovation! And there's a lot happening around all this. And then there's, of course, wind power and so on and so forth. So you can see, this industry is really, really catching up very fast. And this is certainly going to lead to tremendous sustainable development. Health and sanitation. 2 million people in India die because of water contamination. Satyamdev Jayati, you watched?
Yes.
You watched, there was a village in Punjab, I have been to that village actually, very recently. That every house in that village has got a cancer patient. Every single house has got at least one cancer patient because of the impure water they are drinking. 115 million people in India don't get access to pure drinking water. 800 million people in India don't have an access to proper sanitation facilities. Imagine the ladies in villages, they don't have toilets. But having said that, there's a lot happening in here also. There are antenatal care, prenatal care, postnatal care facilities are getting developed. The birthing facilities, the child birthing facilities are not available in villages. So, till the time you actually integrate the entire health platform, now health is about nutrition, health is about basic health facilities, health is about water, and health is about, pre-disease and post-disease, proactive and reactive measures. Proactive is that you provide clean water, clean sanitation, proper nutrition, which will lead to no or lesser health problems. And then, of course, whenever the problems have occurred, how can you improve, how can you give them a right care per se. And there's a lot happening around that. You can see the, and let me tell you, in all the sectors, just I've told you, all the sectors, there's one thing which is happening very good is the public-private partnerships. The people, the social organizations, they're coming together, government also to some extent is supporting, and hence the growth is happening. Last but not the least is employment and job creation. We just spoke about 550 million youth. What are they going to do tomorrow? What are they going to do? If they don't have jobs, if they don't have proper education, if they don't have proper energy, you tell me what are they going to do? They will get restless. What will it lead to? Guess what? Crime. This will lead to restlessness, which can lead to anything, as a matter of fact. What is happening to Somalia today? Hunger, poverty, no power, no health, and hence Somalian pirates. Then you will say, oh, Indian pirates? Wow. No, that's not wrong. That's sad. So the point is, 75 to 80 million jobs will be opened up in next 5 years. National Skill Development Council has said they want to train 550 million youth by 2022. How do you do that? You've got a massive manpower, but unskilled. Only 5% of the youth today have vocational skills in this country. How do you skill them? So there are various organizations. It's again public-private partnership. There's a company called Santam, there's a company called Be Able, there's a company called Anudeep, and then of course NSDC is making a lot of efforts to do vocational training and so forth. Within my organization, when we were to market, we wanted to create rural entrepreneurs in the system, and we wanted to train those rural entrepreneurs also. We didn't have access to right kind of manpower. How do we do that? And the companies don't have so-called deep pockets or such a massive paraphernalia to actually do that. But then it is needed. We need to find a way to do it. So employment and job creation is a fifth. So having said that, these are the 5 key things which I felt from my experience will, if approached in an integrated manner, not in a standalone manner, integrated manner. Education without energy is useless. Health without sanitation is useless. And so on and so forth. And whatever you do at the end of the day, your people are not skilled. How do you deliver those services? So, sustainable development of Bharat, what we need heroes. We need organizations, we need social enterprises, we need government support. We need more heroes like Selco, Fab India, Akshay Patra, who are either enablers or mentors to help us in achieving the goals which perhaps we have set for ourselves. Then we should have, of course, if the government nominees are sitting here, policy framework and ruthless execution. The problem in India is execution. How do we execute? Paper policies are made. But I think things are improving with the public-private partnerships, when the private players are coming in. More capital is getting infused in India. Access to affordable blended capital. Nothing happens without capital. And the blended here would mean either it's an equity or a debt or grants or whatever way it is. Soft loans, collaboration and cooperation. Organizations need to collaborate. As d.light as an organization, we collaborated with Bharat Petroleum. We collaborated with Shrey Sahar, which is a social enterprise. We collaborated with India Post to reach masses. And then there are public-private partnerships like Common Service Center concept, which government has launched for providing B2C services, government to consumer services. Drastic change in our mindset, and that's the most important thing. Drastic change in our mindset. We need to start thinking radically for the people living in Bharat or in India. Of course, India, I'm not saying that I'm in Delhi, don't look after me. People in Bharat, we need to shun our myopic outlook and look at a bigger picture, panoramic view. Last but not the least is the will and the passion which will drive this country. Political will, individual will, social will, and the passion to mark a change, make a change. And then only, from Mera Bharat Kahan to Mera Bharat Mahan. That's the way, that's the only way we can shift the paradigm. Thank you very much.